Welcome back. So it's Liverpool who have the advantage at half-time at Anfield by that 1-0. Let's get straight to it and let's see it. Cody Gakpo took a while to get up and running, but his third goal in the biggest fixture.
Yeah, and it was a very good goal from his point of view. He's the original one that makes the run out wide. Doesn't come to him initially, but then he makes a second run inside, cuts inside on that right foot and uses the defender, Martinez, to bend it round. It's a beautiful goal. Really good individual goal from Gakpo.
Yeah, it's a lovely finish, a good bit of movement. It's a good play by Liverpool, really. And look, there's things we can pick out of it. Of course, we can from United's point of view, but I'm sure from Gakpo and Liverpool's point of view, it's a really good goal.
Yeah, and Gakpo's 3 goals in 4 league starts now. Right, United set up an organisation in this then, chaps.
Well, first question, Scholesy. Dalot, what's he doing there?
I have no idea. They are a little bit all over the place here. You see Casemiro over there, Michael on the left-hand side. Vigos is virtually playing as a central midfielder holding player there. You'd expect Anthony to be into this space as well, just cutting the gap out there where it eventually comes from, but it doesn't happen.
The interesting thing, Steve, is you've got a couple of players and you've got a massive space right across here, but you've got 2 players that are free. And actually you can see players from players from Liverpool, i.e. Nunez, Robertson, both pointing, saying, give the ball to Gakpo, he's on his own. Let's forward it a little bit. Because eventually it doesn't go to Gakpo, it goes to Robertson, but there's 2 of them free because Dalot isn't marking any of them. And then when the ball goes there, it all starts to unravel. This is a brilliant run, an absolutely brilliant run from Gakpo. Nunez is in a central area and he makes this run out wide. And when we just forward it a little bit further, Scholesy, it's Fred that has to vacate the central area to track the run. No problem there. As things stand, that's not a bad position now of Manchester United.
Yeah, not a bad position as well. It all came from bad position in the first place, but now Fred's ended up having to look after Gakpo in this left-hand side where he is, and he gets done by the movement. He's obviously not a full-back. He looks out if you play it on Michael. I think he does have a little look out at him, and that's when Gakpo goes inside. Great way to pass from Robertson. I expect Varane as well. Would you expect him to do a little bit better, Michael?
Yeah, you could. And let's just confirm, in terms of the offside, because we were thinking, is Luke Shaw, is he the one that's playing him offside? Onside, but he's not. You can quite clearly see that he's onside, even with Varane. And then once he cuts inside, Scholesy, we're just questioning the role of Martinez here. Let's just point him out. This is Martinez here. And what we're thinking, and what you mentioned straight away, is does he run across the line of vision for David De Gea?
I certainly don't think it helps De Gea. I don't think he's quite in line at the point it's kicked, but David can also think now that the ball might hit him, but when he does hit it, he has gone right past him. And you see David's reaction there towards Martinez. He doesn't quite have a go at him, but I think he should do. I think it happened a couple of times. There was once before with Robertson, where he ended up clearing it off the line. He's going far too deep, as you'll show here, Michael. He should be getting up the pitch. Really, can he stop the shot, can have effect on the shot, rather than getting the keeper's way? Exactly.
Let's just have a look at this here, actually, Steve, because one thing that you would say is that players, even if he can, this is where he should be, in line. Even if he comes along this, wherever he is along this line, he's got to stay on that line. He can't be dropping deep and blocking the goalkeeper's view. And as you see, when the ball's actually played, he's a lot deeper than everybody else and arguably in the line of sight, and that's what causes the goal.
He needs to trust his goalkeeper, Steve. This is a top goalkeeper you're talking about. Do not get in his way. If anybody gets in the goalkeeper's way, it's criminal.
OK, well, all the headlines ahead of this game was about one Dutchman, Erik ten Hag, the job he was doing at Manchester United. It is Liverpool's new Dutchman, though, that has hit them in the first 45 minutes. His goal is the difference, and that's why he has some scribbling and thinking to do at half-time.
For such a long time now, from the place we were at, you know, almost 3 or 4 acceptable, but 7. There's a naivety about it, I think from the manager as well. You think they've gone to Manchester City, conceded 6. They've come to Liverpool, conceded 7. These are places where you have to go and try and stop the opposition first and foremost. They haven't done that. I think the only time they possibly tried that was the home game against Manchester City. They played an extra midfield player. I think Fred, Eriksen and Casemiro played in that game. I think today, looking at that and looking at games going forward, the manager will be thinking, I need to stop teams before I think about going toe-to-toe with these teams. And I think they'll have a better chance of Not getting embarrassed anyway. It's difficult to watch that and not be embarrassed with the 7-0 result.
Yeah, and it's the heaviest loss of Erik ten Hag's career as well. But on the other side, Liverpool were ruthless. They were clinical.
They were. They scored virtually every chance in that second half. There were one or two, don't get me wrong, one or two other occasions, but they were pretty ruthless with whatever they got given. To say, where'd you start? I mean, Gakpo was brilliant. Mo Salah breaking the record. But the overriding headline it's 7. I mean, you almost need to see it to believe it. It was stunning. And this is a Manchester United team that come into the game, you know, everybody raving about them. They're flying high. They're in all 4 competitions. Well, won 1 competition. They were still in 2 cup competitions. Maybe an outside chance of winning the Premier League. So they were coming here flying high, and the question marks really were by Liverpool's name. But that was just blown out of the water. And if there's ever a turning point for Liverpool, you know, to get back on track, then surely this is it.
Well, what an extraordinary weekend we've had so far. You have to read this and say it to really believe it. In the Premier League at Anfield, between the 2 giants, Liverpool 7, Manchester United 0. So, as well as that staggering scoreline and all the rivalry, it's vitally important for Liverpool in the top 4 chase as well. They're now just 3 off it with a game in hand on Spurs. They have played 1 more than Newcastle. They're a point ahead of Eddie Howe's side. United stay in 3rd position, 4 clear of Spurs, having played a game less. We have to have a couple of minutes break to properly digest that astonishing, sensational scoreline from Anfield. To put it into context, Manchester United's joint heaviest defeat in their history, and there's the other times they conceded 7. In 1926, then 30 and 1931. The last time they conceded 7 goals in a game, 92 years ago.
Games have showed with the results, clean sheets that we've kept, we're on the right path, and today was a proper performance.
Mo, do you echo those sentiments? Did you feel it was coming, and just how special was that today?
Yeah, it's a very special to win a game like that with that result, but in the same time I don't want that give us like we go to the next game with overconfidence or something. We just need to stay humble and just play and win the games, because we are not in a position we wanted to be, but hopefully that give us a good push and will make us keep winning.
One position that you personally in, you are now Liverpool's record-breaking, all-time leading scorer in the Premier League. You've just gone past Robbie Fowler. What does that mean to you?
It's very special, I can't lie. This record was in my mind since I came here. I think after my first season I was always chasing that record. So get it today against United with that result is unbelievable. So yeah, I'm going home, celebrate with the family, and have chamomile tea and sleep. That's it.
Even more special, one was with the right foot. Not many of them with the right foot, have they?
Yeah, that was a good one. I think I just innocent in just shoot the ball. The ball was in a good position, so I just shot it one time, and yeah, I had to go in the right direction.
I mean, is it almost difficult to take in the magnitude of that result, that performance? 7.
It is a little bit because of how well United have been playing of late. You know, they've just won a trophy the other week, which will have hurt us as a team a little bit watching them lift that, and they've been doing really well this season. So for us, it was just about today and about performing to the levels that we're capable of, and we managed to do that, and the momentum kept building, and we ended up getting 7. So, like Mo said, we've got to take each game as it comes now. You know, it's a big win, yeah, of course, but we need to concentrate on the next one, and I'm really happy for Mo, because it's not a coincidence that he gets these numbers. You know, he dedicates his life to football every single day, how hard he works. He's the first one in, last one out, and yeah, it's not a coincidence, so I'm delighted for him.
How much is that shot in the arm as well, though, for your quest for top 4 this season now?
Hopefully, I think now we are 5th in the table, so hopefully, and 3 points behind Spurs. So we have still, I think, 1 game in hand as well. I'm not sure, but we just need to enjoy the game, and I think when we play to enjoy the game, just to play our football, and that's what we showed last couple of weeks.
Is it possible, out of all 129, say which one was your favourite, or was it the 129th, because it meant so much to you?
The last one. I don't think it's a really great goal, but I think it was really special.
Congratulations, you were the player of the match. John, will you do the honours, please?
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Well done, guys.
Thanks, Jeff.
Cheers.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, we'll come to Mo Salah's numbers in a moment, but can you understand Jordan Henderson there, Michael? As a Liverpool player, to play in that fixture and look at the scoreline of 7, it will take some sinking in, won't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think anybody that walks in now and looks at the result, they must think, well, Manchester United must have gone down to 10 men in the first, maybe even 9 men.
Or there's an error on your TV screen.
Or there's something wrong with the TV, or we've made a mistake. But obviously none of those are true. It was just an incredible day at Anfield. And as I said earlier, Anfield has seen some of the most incredible nights and days of football over the years, but that's going to be ranked right amongst them. I mean, it's a monumental score, monumental effort, monumental performance, and everything about it was staggering. I mean, you're still a little bit of shock now that this Manchester United team that are playing so well can get beat by anybody 7-0, but let alone their arch rivals.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point, isn't it? As Michael said, we talked long and hard about United's form coming into this.
It's just a really freakish afternoon, I think. I don't think, as you mentioned before, 7 goals out of 8 chances. Everything did seem to fall perfectly for them. And I think the disappointing thing from United's point of view is when I was mentioning before the game, waxing lyrical about the characters and leaders we've seen in the team. I think once you get to 3 or 4, you got your Casemiro, you got your Varane, playing in big games, big teams, you say, right, stay here, don't go anywhere, we're not conceding any more goals, we don't make this embarrassing. But unfortunately, Liverpool took all but one of their chances, and it was a freakish afternoon, but one United will have to accept. Yeah,
from a United point of view, a disaster, but from a Liverpool point of view, what a day. We're delighted to be joined by the captain, Jordan Henderson, live at Anfield. Now, Jordan, well done. Is that still sinking in, to win a game of that magnitude with that scoreline?
A little bit. We knew it was a big game coming into it. You know, United have been playing really well of late, just won a trophy, so we wanted to come here and perform to the levels we're capable of, and we had to today to get the result. And I thought overall the performance was top from everyone, and you get your rewards in the end.
Particularly in that second half. Obviously, it was only 1-0 at half-time. I mean, what did that feel like in the second half? Attack after attack, and they all seemed to be going in.
Yeah, we're sort of building momentum second half. I thought we started the game really well. You know, first 20-25 minutes was very good, and then maybe 10-15 minutes United got into it a little bit more. But second half, I thought we dominated for large parts, and we're clinical in front of goal, which is important.
Jordan, it's Michael here. I was just wondering what the mentality is after a result like that. One, you're obviously euphoric. It's a great scoreline, but of course, secondly, there's still a job to do. There's still been a disappointing season, and that respect as well for a team that are playing so well, that have already won a trophy. Where's the balance here between celebrating and obviously still being humble and pushing on for the season?
Well, I think you've got to enjoy it, you know, playing in big games like this against United. It's always a fantastic game, so to win it 7-0 is a big moment, really, and one I'm sure we'll look back on. So you've got to enjoy it, but at the same time, you're right, you need to stay humble. And at the end of the day, it's just another 3 points, and we've still got a long way to go to try and qualify for the Champions League at least. So it's another game. We've won, yep, enjoy it, but we'll move on quickly because the games come thick and fast, and we'll have another tough game next week against Bournemouth.
Jordan, you know Mo Salah better than most. You see him day in, day out, what he puts into his game. To break Robbie Fowler's record of all people today, and in this fixture, in that magnitude as well, in front of the Kop, was that almost written in the stars for him?
Yeah, it was a great...
With the Champions League in touch and distance, how important is it for a club of Liverpool's size, you know, in terms of recruiting players, keeping players, you know, big players happy in the Champions League? How important is that 4th place?
It's really important, you know, like you say, in the club like Liverpool need to be playing Champions League football. And yes, this season has been disappointing at times, and we haven't performed to the levels that we're capable of for different reasons. But I think we showed tonight we can still perform as a team. We've got a few big players that have come back over the last few weeks that's helped. And now it's about trying to keep everybody fit, trying to keep the energy levels and the performance levels high like they were today, right till the end of the season. And if we do that, then we'll have a good chance. But yes, of course, it's big to try to get into that top 4 for next season.
And just finally, Jordan, with 13 league games to go, what kind of bounce is a result like that today to give you now?
It is a big result, you know, but the performance is the most important thing, I feel. You know, I think the performance level has been really important the last few weeks, especially Premier League. I feel as though this has been coming and performing for the full 90 minutes, which I feel as though we did today. But we need to continue that. We need to keep going, keep working for each other, and hopefully, like I say, we can go on a little run and end the season well.
Very well done. Thanks for joining us. Do thank your umbrella holder as well. So we do appreciate that.
Cheers.
Thanks, Jordan.
Cheers. See you.
Big smile on the face of the Liverpool captain in the rain at Anfield. The other side of the story is Manchester United's heaviest defeat for 92 years. Here's their captain, Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno, you've had a few moments there in the changing rooms. Is it possible to explain exactly what happened there today?
The standard was not at our level. That's why we didn't get anything from the game. I think first half we did really well. We controlled the game. We had the most chances probably. Liverpool find the goal. We came to the second half and we conceded too many goals from our mistakes and from positions where we should be aware of what Liverpool wanted from the game.
Like you say, at half-time, even at 1-0, recently it felt like United would have and normally did come back from games like that. So what changed in that second half then?
As I said, we did too many mistakes. That is not at our standard, our level, the level we used to be. We gave too much space away for them to counter. We knew how good they could be in a counter-attack. Is one of the best weapons that they have, and we didn't control that good enough.
There's been an awful lot of games recently. There's been 4 matches since your last Premier League game alone. Is that starting to catch up now, the amount of games that are coming, and quite intense games as well, including that cup final?
We can't use that as an excuse. If you want to play for this top club, being in all the competitions, fight for all the competitions, we have to play all the games, and we have to want to play more and more often. So we can use that as an excuse. It's just our standard was not good enough, and that's it.
So how do you stop this having a big impact on the rest of the season now?
We had worse moments than this, and we came back from that. So it's obviously it hurts a lot. But it's still just one game. We lost 3 points. Even if he's doing with this kind of result, is again, as I said, as I always said, that big games don't give you more than 3 points, and obviously can get you all down of confidence of everything. But the team has to have the belief, as always, because what we have done in the past has brought us into the position we are today, and this result can't change what is being our mentality.
Always appreciate you talking to me.
Thanks.
That's the Manchester United captain. I get what he's saying, Paul, but as a Manchester United player, it isn't just 3 points lost there, is it? Given the scoreline and where it is and who it's against.
No, it's not. I do actually think he spoke quite well there. He wasn't looking for excuses. He's saying, being at a big club, you have to expect to play a lot of games during the season. And look, they have played a lot of games. I actually feel sorry for him when he's played, actually. He's been pushed out to many positions now to do a job for a team to accommodate people. He was on the left today. He's been on the right. He's played through the middle. He has been a little bit all over the place, and I don't think you can't say any of the players performed the way they should have done. But I thought he was especially poor today. Really, it wasn't his greatest afternoon. But again, being played all over the place doesn't help you. I think there's a couple of players in that team that, when it comes to big games like this, I don't think they're quite at the level. I think the right back position could be a problem. They clearly need a centre forward if Martial's going to have the injury record he's got. And there are issues in the team, but it's difficult to be critical of this team for what's happened over the last so many games. Since that Brentford game, especially, look, there's been disappointments and there's been games where the keeper has had to save them at times, and they've come on and made changes and been different and made a difference to games, the substitutes especially, where they've given them a real lift when really they could have been out of games. But look, that is just such a freak. I keep saying the word freak. So
you're not concerned of any hangover going forward from this?
Well, that's the big question now. I don't think so. I think, as I mentioned, with the characters that are in the team, the experience the manager's got I think they'll come out of this okay. You have to be slightly worried, of course, but I think when you look back at it and you see they only created 8 chances, Liverpool at Anfield, I'll tell you what, in normal years, you'd probably accept that. But there's no way in a million years you expect them to score 7. Liverpool, I bet we've played against Liverpool. They've created 20, 25 chances in the past and not scored a goal. It was just such a freakish afternoon. And I'm glad that he won't blame tiredness. And it's how they react from this, really. As I said, they've got big experience in that team. They've got a squad now where they could possibly freshen up for Thursday night, especially play players who won't be scarred by what happened today. But I think there's a big job now from the manager and the support staff to really, get this team lifted. Maybe just a couple of days off or something, get away from that and refocus on an important end to the season.
The fact that United have lost away at Arsenal, City and Liverpool now, is that just a guide as to perhaps they're just a fraction off the top 2?
Well, I think so. I think we mustn't forget how far Manchester United have come, and we mustn't, all of a sudden think, right, they're title contenders and they're going to win everything, because they are still, a little bit behind the likes of Manchester City. You could argue they're, Arsenal and teams like that, they're hunting down, although Arsenal have gone again. But, I mean, in this great run that they had, and I asked Paul the question just before kick-off, they've been getting great results, but I've not really been out of my seat thinking, wow, this club is going to take the Premier League by storm, let's say, next season. I've been really impressed with the progress that Manchester United have made, but there's still a long way to go. And that was before today's result. Obviously, today's result makes you think that even more. One question I would have was, which Paul just raised before, would be team selection. There's one position on that pitch before today's game that everybody thinks, wow, this could be the match-winning area. Marcus Rashford against Trent Alexander-Arnold was on everybody's lips going into this game. And what does he do? He puts their best player in Rashford, or their most attacking threat, onto probably Liverpool's best couple of players themselves. Virgil van Dijk's one of the fastest, strongest, best players in the world. And yet he's already had loads of success on the left-hand side against Trent Alexander-Arnold. So that was a big surprise.
Well, could I play devil's advocate here? At half-time, it was only 1-0, and Rashford down the middle had a huge chance.
Yeah.
That probably wasn't in the conversation at half-time, was it?
Well, no. Go on, Michael. Go on.
Well, I was going to say, Weghorst is a number 10. I mean, I've never been sure of that one. He did have a great chance.
As a number 10 or a centre forward.
Or as a centre forward, especially in this type of fixture.
Yeah.
But he did have a big chance, Steve, and he missed that chance. And he's used to having chances coming off the left with, making a run on a certain angle towards goal. But that's precisely my point. Now, anybody can miss chances, but he's playing down the middle. He's had one chance. He's been lethal all season. Hardly missed an opportunity. And going down the middle might have been the different angle, might have just been the occasion, might have just been because you missed chances. That's all fine. But none of that, for me, if I was a Manchester United fan, thinking, wow, this could be an area we can hurt Liverpool today. And they go and play him against 2 really strong, quick, good players. I'm not sure about that at all. In fact, I disagree with that.
I think Michael's exactly right about that. The one thing, the question you asked originally about going to Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City and getting beat well at Liverpool, getting beat well at Manchester City, a bit closer at Arsenal, of course, was and missing Casemiro. I think the manager has to learn, when you go to these big grounds, when you go to these better teams, the first thing you have to do is try and stop them. There's no shame in that. I think this manager, as I said before the game, he wants to go toe-to-toe with the big teams. He wants to play like them. He wants to play like Manchester City. But Manchester United don't have to do that. With Sir Alex, when we...
And never have done.
Never have done. When we played, honestly, we went to these big teams. You respect them. You play 5 in midfield. First and foremost, you stop them because we know how good they can be. And we also know we might get 1 or 2 chances, but we've got the players in the team who have the quality to do it. With being in Ajax, obviously the competition isn't quite as good. I think he'll have to learn that the philosophy of Manchester United It's not. You don't have to go toe-to-toe. You don't have to go to these big teams. Go to Barcelona. Did kick the ball for 70 minutes, get a 0-0. It's a great result. Going to these places sometimes and drawing a game is a brilliant result if you're looking over the full season. So I think he's going to have to lose that naivety, really. And as you say, Michael, with today, I think especially the team selection wasn't quite right on what we expected.
Interesting. Let's go back to Anfield. Our very own Owen Hargreaves, without an umbrella, he doesn't need a brolly, does he? Is waiting to talk to us. Listen, it's a horrible day for United current players and former players, I guess, to see that unveil in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a surprise. I thought first half, actually, Man United were the better side. I thought the goal came against the run of play. I thought Robertson, Gakpo and Harvey Elliott were the only three good players that in the first half for Liverpool. I thought United had some good moments, but the second half was an absolute mess. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. I was sat right next to the United bench. Don't think they could. I think Erik ten Hag made some subs to change the game. If anything, the game got significantly worse. And just a really bad day at the office. You can't come here and have 11 players get outplayed, and I thought that's exactly what happened today.
What do you think about Scholes' point about a little bit of naivety in the way the team was set up from Erik ten Hag?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I haven't heard what you guys have been saying, but I was surprised with Bruno was on the left wing the whole game. I didn't quite understand that. Weghorst in the 10, I don't think he affected the game. First game, I've seen Casemiro not play really well. There were so many things that just weren't right about Manchester United today. And again, I'm with Mo and Scholes. You know, didn't feel right. You know, he was trying to find something with Weghorst and Bruno off the left. Didn't work. You know, Mo made a good point about Trent and Rashford. I thought Trent played magnificent, by the way, as a right back. But I don't think anybody really tested him in that sense. Let Marcus go. You know, let him stay on the left-hand side and get after Trent. But just didn't work today. The game plan didn't work. First time all season, really, for United.
Owen, you've been in teams that have had setbacks, great teams that have had setbacks. How do you bounce back from a 7-0 drubbing to one of your arch rivals? Can they bounce back and almost water off a duck's back?
Mo, that's a great question because they haven't been in this position before. Ten Hag hasn't been here. You can't, Scholes, you mentioned, you can't come here, you know, and play that way and get a result like that. This team hasn't been in this position under Erik ten Hag. He made all the players go over and, you know, and clap to the Man United fans, probably apologise in a way. I don't know how they're going to react, but you can't afford to lose a game like this. 7-0 is. I just thought the second half was a disaster. I think Liverpool scored with the first six shots on target. Don't think David De Gea made a save. So they got to bounce back. They've had a really good season so far. Today was a terrible day at the office.
Yeah, hi, Owen Scholes. I hope you're okay, mate. Not as disappointed as I am. Yeah, we were massively surprised with Weghorst playing as a number 10 and Rashford playing through in the middle. We did two Barcelona games together and obviously did the same thing, and it didn't really work. Was you surprised to see that again?
Yeah, I mean, he likes something there with Weghorst, but to be fair, he doesn't even really win that many headers in there. I mean, physically, if you think he's going to win headers, you get long balls. I thought the first 20 minutes, Liverpool were by far the better side. I thought second 20 minutes, that Man United were by far the better side. I thought the goal came against the run of play. Brilliant from Robertson, by the way. And Gakpo, who I thought was probably the best player in the game with Harvey Elliott. So, yeah, there were a few things that didn't work. We've seen him rotate a lot of positions, especially Bruno off the left. But they just didn't have it today defensively. There were so many things wrong with that, and that's why I think he'll have to go back and watch the game again and think, how on earth did we concede 7 goals in a game when Liverpool only had 8 shots on target? That is just not the Man United we've seen this season.
Owen, terrific stuff. Go and get warm and dry.
I'm out of here. Thanks, guys.
and former Man United players can't get out of Anfield quick enough after that. Paul won't want to do this. Michael will.
But we can't let it get to 6 and 7. We have to just sit here, don't go anywhere, forget about attacking, forget about scoring goals, and just don't concede anymore and make it more embarrassing. OK, let's go back to Anfield. One man who certainly enjoyed that, John Barnes. I mean, John, you've seen a lot of things in football. Where does that rank from a Liverpool point of view? Biggest ever win against Manchester United?
Yeah, well, that has to rank up there in terms of the way the season's gone for us, the way the season's gone for them. First off, Owen made the point that I thought Liverpool were excellent in the first 20 minutes. Man United got back into it in the second 20 minutes, probably created better chances. We then scored. Second half, scoring second and third goals so early really really just, knock the stuffing out of Man United. But then from a Man United perspective, you look at the reaction. Yes, we may not be playing well, but how are we going to react to going 3-0 down? Are we going to fight? Whereas you can see, Anthony throwing his arms in the air, Rashford just throwing his arms in the air, winning free kicks, Fernandes. You can't always play well. And when you're not playing well and things aren't going your way because everything Liverpool seems to hit goes in the back of the net, how do the players react when in adversity? And I think that Erik ten Hag would be disappointed in the reaction of the Man United players. And of course, things have gone well for him since he's been here, but this will be a big sign as to how far Man United have to go. Liverpool haven't turned the corner. Not now all of a sudden we're going to be winning all the games, but I think that this will go a long way to improving our season.
Absolutely. Give us a sense of what it was like in the stadium, particularly second half, when those goals were going in, and indeed in the final whistle went.
Well, as I said, the second and third goals really knocked the stuffing out of Man United. But that's where you're going to look at the character of the Man United players to say, yes, we're not playing well. Everything they seem to hit goes into the back of the net. But how are we going to tackle? How are we going to chase? How are we going to respond? And I think that this was the most intense Liverpool have played out of possession, and I don't think Manchester United could cope with Liverpool's intensity out of possession, which is why Casemiro has been fantastic. They hustled, they harried, and this is where Man United will probably have not come up against a team like this before. So 7-0 probably flattered us a bit, but I'll take it.
Yeah, John, you mentioned before the game, it's probably the most nervous Liverpool fans have been going into one of these games for about the last 4 or 5 seasons. Therefore, were you surprised at the one area that everybody thought, ooh, what's going to happen here? Marcus Rashford, absolutely at the top of his game, had success against Trent Alexander before. Were you surprised that he played central against 2 big, strong, quick lads?
I was surprised because, of course, that's not Marcus' position. Marcus will score a lot of goals, like Mo Salah, coming in from wide positions. I thought he would have given Trent a hard time, and I said at the start that it's important for people to get back and help Trent. But he played into Liverpool's hands, playing down the middle against 2 big centre-backs. All the work he did, any good work he did, was in wide positions. Course, I thought would have been playing down the middle. So I thought that, obviously, hindsight's a wonderful thing because Man United have been playing well. Erik ten Hag has got every decision right. But today, in hindsight, you could say maybe he shouldn't have done it. Maybe it might not have worked, but I was surprised to see him in that position, yeah.
Finally, John, obviously you play with Ian Rush, you play with Robbie Fowler, whose record has gone today. All-time Premier League record goal scorer is now Mo Salah. Where is he when we talk about those Liverpool greats?
Listen, he's right up there, not just in terms of by breaking Robbie's record, but by the numbers he's posted every single year, as well as the effort and the commitment he puts in. As I said, this year we've been inconsistent. Mo, as much as he's scoring goals, but today he looked as if he was back on form. Not so much in the goals he scored, but his energy, his determination. He chased back. This is a real Liverpool performance, and hopefully we can continue to do this for the rest of the season.
John, terrific stuff. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
John Barnes, live at Anfield. Here are the thoughts of Erik ten Hag.
Erik, obviously not a good day. Where and how did that go so badly wrong for Manchester United?
Yeah, for me, I don't have an explanation. I have to find out. It's only what I have seen. The first half was quite in control. Maybe even we had a better chance. We make one mistake. And then second half, in the start, we gave 2 goals away, where we are really poor in defense transition. And then everything fell out of each other. It was like defense transition. There was no team anymore. We didn't stick to the plan. 11 individuals, so I don't know, really bad.
Have you asked the players what happened?
I have given my opinion. That's unprofessional. You always have to stick as a team together, fight with each other, and we didn't do. We were really indisciplined in our jobs.
Do you feel you just disintegrated and lost all composure?
Yeah, I think we have seen the same, and it's not necessary. You can have setbacks, but what can't happen is that you don't stick together, and you have to do your job. And it's not possible. We make the wrong decisions in the transition, but we didn't run a match the runs. We didn't track back, and that's for me unprofessional.
That's hard for you to accept, but as we stand here right now, what are your feelings as to how that came about, why it came about, and also why, with senior players on the pitch, they weren't able to compose themselves?
I don't know. In this moment, what I have seen, I think first half we play really decent. We created the better chances, and then in the end we concede 1 goal, and then straight after halftime 2. But then stick to the plan, and it's 3-0. okay, then you lose a game, but you have to keep your head up.
Is embarrassing too strong a word to use for that second half performance?
It's really unprofessional.
How do you react after something like this? This is the biggest defeat that Liverpool have ever inflicted upon Manchester United. Where do you go from here?
I'm really disappointed and I'm angry, especially for our fans. We let them down. But also, as a squad, as a team, you can't allow this. You have to stick together and you have to fight with each other. You have to support each other and you have to defend. And that is what we didn't do. So for me, it's really unprofessional.
Is this the same as the start of the season? I'm thinking of the Brentford game in particular. Or is this worse because of the improvement you made and also because it was Liverpool today?
You can't compare it. Totally different situations. We are months ahead. We make a lot of progression. But you see also when you don't keep the standards, what can happen.
So to reapply those standards as a coach, how big a job on your hands right now? And also how damaging as well for the players mentally in terms of the run-in for the season?
Well, what I've said in the dressing room, it's unacceptable. The performance clear. But also, it's only one game, a big defeat. What's unacceptable, especially for our fans, especially while it's against Liverpool, but we will bounce back. This team is strong enough, he will reset himself and we will bounce back.
Thanks, Eric.
You're welcome.
Well, Paul, he didn't hold back. Really unprofessional, totally unacceptable.
Yeah, and I think his first answer was that he doesn't really have an explanation for it. And then I think he went to answer his explanation, which was they didn't run back hard enough. They didn't track back. The very first thing we were taught when we were players in these big games, when you lose possession, you sprint back. You sprint back into your shape, get yourself organised. These players weren't doing that. We saw in a couple of clips there was half a team defending, half a team attacking. It's not good enough in big games like this. You just can't win games. You're going to concede chances. You're going to concede goals. You're playing against the best teams. I think he's probably learning who he can trust in these big games. I think Anthony was one probably today he'll be worried about again playing in these big games. I think Darlow has struggled in these big games. I think right back is a little bit of a weakness. I think Wan-Bissaka's a better defender in these type of games. That's where I think naivety of going to big games and going toe-to-toe, thinking you can play an attacking full-back, it is naive, really. I think it's a place for a defensive right-back. I think ideally in that position, you'd probably like someone in the middle of them two. You know, they're both very good at going one way and the other way, but not quite the full package. And I think Bruno defensively never been great. I think he'll do it to a point, but he's never been great. Vigos is in the team to be a defender, really. You know, you're talking about a Manchester United number 10 or centre forward. He's in the team to be defensive, really. He's the one that runs about and rats about, and everybody likes playing with him because he does that. But quality-wise as well, you've got to have a certain level of quality to play for Man United. It's not there. Look, I don't want to be too disrespectful. I don't want to be too disrespectful to the team, really, because they've been great. They just won a trophy. And I keep going to the word freakish. That is a freakish day, that is a really freakish day. I think they've got the experience, the character, the quality in the team still to recover from that. I think there won't be many players who have had beatings like that, but somehow they're going to have to respond. I think on Thursday night it'll freshen up. There's a decent sized squad now. We've got a little bit of confidence about them, and they'll be looking at it thinking, you know, I should be playing. They should be staking a claim for a place. So look, they're going to be devastated. Of course they are because of the result, but it's 7 goals from 8 chances. Well, where do you ever see that? I can't believe that's ever happened again, and it has happened. So you've got to take it on the chin. You've got to recover, because now there's still a chance of winning a couple more trophies. I hope now it doesn't see them off. Do you know what I mean? Because it can. Mentally, it can do you more than your legs, really. These players now, they're a young team, so there's some young players, OK, it's mixed. There's a great mixture with experience, but there's some young players who it might take them a little while to get over that, and it should do. It really should do, because it's an embarrassing afternoon for them. But as I said before, the manager, the staff especially, they've got to try and regroup with this group of players. It's one game, it's 3 points, move on and try and finish in that top 4 and try and win another trophy.
He's had a lot of praise, rightly so, for how far United have come. Is this a little another test now for Erik ten Hag and how he galvanises the whole group to respond to this?
It was. I mean, it was a massive test before he started in this job, and he's done amazingly well to get to this point. Now, there is a test, don't get me wrong, but it's a bump in the road. It's certainly not the test.
Is it just a bump, or is it?
I think so, yeah. It is one... He's got to be telling his players it's one result, OK? Yes, it was poor. Yes, it was, unprofessional in his words. It was all these words that you want to use, and he'll be saying that for the next day or two. And once that's done, it's like, right, OK, it's 3 points. That's it. We've just lost a game. Now let's get back on track because they have made loads of progress under Ten Hag, and they cannot afford to let one result derail them. I mean, let's get it right. Liverpool played in the Champions League not so long ago, and it almost fell like a ton of bricks against them as well. They went 2-0 up, but then all of a sudden 5 goals without reply against Real Madrid. It can happen when you're playing against good teams that you get ahead of steam. It can happen. It happened to Liverpool not so long ago. It's happened to Manchester United today. But they've got to, brush it off, realise that it can happen if you're not at it. Erik ten Hag will learn 1 or 2 things as well. Scholes, he mentioned about 1 or 2 players that he might have learned a lot from, and certain stadiums that you go to and you show a little bit more respect as well. So there'll be lessons learned all round, but certainly it's not a case of, right, we're back to the drawing board, right back to the start. They've made lots of progress over the last few months.
It's funny sometimes how, managers' interviews afterwards, sometimes they come out and take responsibility for it, don't they? He never did that. He believes in picking an attacking team wherever he goes. That's the way he's probably brought up in Holland playing football with a club that is more superior, the superior club and superior team to everybody else in the league. It's not going to happen in England. It's far more competitive. There are 4 or 5, possibly 3 or 4 teams where you have to go and you have to give them the ultimate respect. So he's not taking responsibility for the result because he thinks that's his method. He has to go toe-to-toe. That's the way he plays. It's the players' fault, which is, you know what? Players didn't run back. That is their fault. They should be taking responsibility for it. You've got to give him credit for that. But as I say, you have to show a bit of know-how when you go to these big grounds. Sometimes you have to try and stop them before you give it all and try and score a goal.
Yeah, tough day for Erik ten Hag, but a brilliant one for Jurgen Klopp. Let's get his post-match thoughts.
Jurgen, put that into words, what your side have just done.
No words. Spectacular football game. It's outstanding. Starting the game was really exactly what we needed. It was super front-footed, super lively, super active. Played top football against the team in form, and then first half we got a bit wild in a way we didn't want it. They got a bit of foot into the game, and then we scored this incredible goal late in the first half. Incredible. What a pass. What a finish. So fantastic. Yeah, and second half, obviously, the start was pretty good, the finish was pretty good, everything was pretty good, yeah. That's football, and it can happen. How I said before the game, United plays a super season. We are not really happy with our season so far, but that doesn't mean anything for the game, because you still have to play this one, and today we were the clear better side for this moment. And we got very important 3 points for us, so it feels good.
Is that far more than important 3 points, though? The manner of the 3 points on so many fronts.
Yeah, it's important as well that we really perform, that all the guys up front score, then Bobby comes on and scores. Diogo could have scored. I'm not sure if it's a penalty or not. But so that's all very important. Top performances, all top performances today. Everybody who played was really in the game. That's very important for us, of course, because there are still, I don't know exactly, 13 games or so to come. So a lot of points to go for, and that's exactly what we want. And so, yes, for tonight it was perfect.
Well, you said at the start of the week, I want to give our season a little push this week. What was that?
Yeah, that was the push we wanted. But
that's more than a push.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It just pushed us in the right direction. That's how it is. We are getting close. Everybody has to feel us, has to know we are still around. It was not the case for a while, and now tonight we really was a proper show of what we could be. and what we can be, and that's what we have to be from now on. And we don't talk about the scoreline, we just talk about the performance. And so that's really, really helpful. If you see now the goal difference, I'm not sure, I think plus 19 or something like that, that looks like a goal difference first time. And yeah, how I said, for tonight, perfect, but we all know. Bournemouth lost yesterday against Arsenal in the last second pretty much, so they fight for staying in the league. That will not be a walk in the park or whatever. It will be tough as well, and we have to make sure that we are ready for that.
Mo Salah broke the record today. You doffed your cap to him.
Well deserved, yeah.
What can you say about his achievement?
Well, it's insane. It's insane. 129 goals is absolutely insane. What a number. And I don't even know exactly the number, how many goals he was involved with, setting it up today, at least one, if I'm right. So that's really, really special. He's a special player, very special player. We appreciate him now already, but in the future, looking back, people will realize, wow, we witnessed something really special.
Indeed. 5 games ago, they lost at Wolves. They were 11 points off the top 4. They're just 3 now. 5 clean sheets in a row later. Are they the favourites for 4th place for you now?
Yeah, they have to be. Yeah, I think they're the best team. Obviously, they've had their issues this year with changing players around. So before the game, then we weren't really sure where the problem was with Liverpool. They seem to have problems in every area of the pitch other than the goalkeeper. But they look what's that? The 5th clean sheet. So they look like they've got it tied up at the back, and with the quality of player they've got in midfield and going forward, then you'd always expect them to score goals. And
you said before the game, when Liverpool get it right, they get it right spectacularly. Not even you could have predicted that, though.
No, absolutely not. It was quite an even first half. In fact, it was a really good first half for both teams. But then the second half, Liverpool were just, relentless. And I genuinely mean, I don't care who you put in front of them at Anfield, when they're on it, they are simply unstoppable. You just cannot stop them. We've seen it for years and years. When they're absolutely on their game, it's just wave after wave, and you can't stop it. And Jurgen Klopp's been searching for that type of performance for some time now. That goes to prove that Liverpool can do it. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with what they're doing. They've been inconsistent, they've had injuries, they've all kinds, lack of confidence, whatever you want to say, lots of different things. But that proves that they are back. That proves that they can win any game when they're on it.
Gentlemen, thank you as always for your company. Liverpool into the top 5 for the first time since August. A day Manchester United fans want to erase straight away from their memory. A day Liverpool ones will never, ever forget. See you soon.